Well, here I am. One of my little honey holes I like to come to. It's not very big, but it's quiet, and I'm by myself, and I get to unwind a little bit and think this is a good place to come. It's, as you can see, I'm all alone here. Nobody around. There's a little trail coming in that way, but I come in from down there. So I'm gonna set you up right here. We're gonna do a little fishing, see if we can't see what's in this pond. I have never fished this before, but I've heard a lot about it, and I've just been down here and just been by myself and just reflecting on things. So let's throw a minnow in here and see what we can figure out, what's in here and what isn't. There might be some panfish in here. I'm sure there is. There's some bluegills and shell crackers and sunfish, probably some crappie. I know there's some frogs in here. I can hear them croaking. So let me set y'all down right here where y'all can see me on the bank over there. I promise I'll speak up now and again so you can hear me. I'm already rigged one of these, it's a Gulp minnow, 2.5-inch Gulp minnow. They're scented, but my Lord, they're $7 a pack for 18 of them. And last year they were like $4.25. That's all it is right there. Just a little old shad Gulp minnow there. A little split shot about, I don't know, 30 inches, 35 inches up the line. This little spin cast reel. Let's see what's in here. I did bring a stringer, by the way, just in case I caught a few fillet out and cook for supper. Don't never know what's in this pond, these old ponds around here in the south. You gotta watch for snakes down here too. This is the weather they like to start moving around in. Getting out and about around this water. They're after the frogs and little fish and everything else they can catch. But I enjoy it. This is the first time I fished this year. Usually I'm trout fishing already. Didn't get a chance to do that. So trying to get that house built up there on the hill. I know there's some bass in here. And I usually don't like to bass fish much. There's one right there. And it's a bass. Yep. Small one. Ah. 6-incher. Well, I knew there'd be some bass in here. These little Gulp minnows, they work awesome. They catch crappie, bluegill, bass, as you can just see. The bass like them. I'm not throwing very far out, just 15 or 20 feet. There's another one right there. This is probably a bluegill. Yeah. Decent size too. And he swallowed it. Well, not too bad. Not a bad size panfish. Oh yeah, he's a hand size. Time to break out the pliers, I guess. This was my pop's fishing vest. And I figured instead of leaving it on the hanger to do nothing but collect dust, I'd use it. So I'm sure that's what he wanted. You got my minnow. Just for that, I'm gonna put you on a stringer. I believe we'll keep him. Boy, that's some good eating right there. And I mean good eating. See if I can find that old string. I Little Pops had one in here somewhere. There it is. Always keep a stringer. Yep. Pops, he was prepared all the time. I think there's toilet paper in this thing, flashlight. Who knows what's in this vest. It's a little short, but what you can do is you can open up that last hook and you can hook it in the ground. That'll keep them from swimming off. We'll just give them a little toss here. Stab that thing in the ground where he can't run off with it. And we'll grab us another minute. $7 for them right there. And they're made in the United States. I think, of course, it's like everything else, you know, prices are going up because of the greed in this country. Everybody getting greedy when they ought to be a helping and being kind to folk. And all they want to get greedy, take advantage of people. And our current administration is failing us. All I'm doing is hooking them minnows right through the top of the head and out the bottom. Just like that. And they got a good scent to them. Pitch it back out there. I mean, it didn't take long and he had that thing. Got to be patient, that's for sure. You don't never know what's going to hit these things. What a place to come. Beautiful. Not as hot today as it was yesterday. Yesterday it was in the high 90s. It was hot. It was extremely warm, no doubt about it. I just enjoy getting out, wetting the hook now and again. And the ticks are bad this year too. I've pulled 5 or 6 of them off of me already this year. I do have one vice, and it's a bad habit, but that's all right. It's my habit, and I'm supporting it. I figure as long as I can support my own habit, I can have it, right? And we'll fish here a little while. We don't do no good here. We'll move. I usually don't talk while I'm fishing, and it's different. There he is. He isn't a big one though. Good. That's called self-release. I like it when they do that right there. Come here, little fella. Healthy shell cracker. them after your grandpa, not you. I wanted to fish on the stream side, the feeder side, where it's a little shadier, but this water on the dam side is deeper. So it's kind of a trade-off. With the sun on the water a little bit, fish will go deeper. But when you're in the shade, they stay shallower. So if you fish and just let your bait free fall, it don't really matter. Once it gets below the sunlight, they'll get it. I hope everybody's doing good today. I had to go to a wedding yesterday and missed Bellhoppers Live. I try to support everybody I can. I do. I get on about every channel I know just to give them a thumbs up and give them a shout out. You know, people, they work hard for their channels and they put a lot of effort into the videos. And they're good folks, you know, honest people. Hard to find honest people anymore. People that are men and women of the word. That's how I was raised. Be a man of your word if it costs you. We didn't have a lot when I was growing up, but that's one thing we had. A bar of soap and our dignity and our word. You can be the poorest person in the world as long as you stay clean and you honor your word and your name. You can go in anywhere and hold your head up. And you sleep good at night too, at least the way as I do. Got a breeze blowing about 15 miles an hour and it feels good. I got a split shot on this thing. I'm thinking about taking it off and just letting that bait fall slower. Don't have to cast halfway across the pond. These fish are everywhere. One thing I've learned, I watch people, they try to get something that casts from here all the way across. This pond's probably, I don't know, 3 acres. A couple 100 yards across it, and they'll try to cast all the way to the other side instead of walking around there to where they're casting. I know it don't make no sense. There's 3 Saw Fests coming up. You got the one in Ohio, Saw Fest, that's in October. We got Buck and Stock, if he has it, in late September. And next spring, Tasman Kenny Fuller's gonna have one. And I done told my wife that if I'm breathing, I'm gonna try to make that trip. Because I don't believe there's another finer man other than Pops. That I could tell anything to. I'm still running them chainsaws at Hopper Stock. Blowed my mind. I run so many saws the next day, I had to work. And it was all I could do to raise my arms up. Simmer down, son. Raised my arms up the next day, it was rough. But the best thing about hopper stock was the people. The people were unbelievable. I had the time of my life. Met some of the best people that a man could meet. Muffler, Smitty, and Bellhopper, Dubs. Got a good channel. Charlie Briscoe. Indiana Doug. Thanks, Doug, for teaching me how to sharpen my saw. I thought I knew how. I was wrong. Everybody was kind, not a crossword. NBC was there, great guy. I was standing there with Doug and we were working on a chain together. He was showing me the proper way to get the gullet without getting the chain itself. That was my problem. I was getting the gullet, but I was filing downward into the chain itself, not keeping it in the tooth. Once he got me straightened out right there, NBC walked over and said, you know, when you run these ported saws, stock sucks. Yes, it does. Stock sucks. I had the absolute best time. I went from about 7:30 in the morning until about 1 o'clock and never drank the first bottle of water. Didn't eat nothing. And then I finally got by myself for a minute and I was standing there and it hit me. I was hungry, thirsty, and my energy, it's like someone just opened the top of my head up, poured a bucket of adrenaline down in me. For the first 5 hours, it was just go. And then it hit me. So I went up there and got me something to eat. Them fine fellas was grilling out up there. Got me some water. I drank about 4 or 5 bottles right quick. And then it was back at the saws. Briscoe and Indiana Doug drove all the way from Ohio to be there for one day. Or Michigan, Ohio. Maybe both. Best guys you could ever meet. And all the lady folk. Smitty's wife was there, Bellhopper's wife was there, Muffler's wife was there. I know I'm missing some names. There's so many people there, good people. I don't mean to miss their names. I just can't remember much more anymore. I try to remember everything I can. I'm gonna pull that split shot off here in a minute. Let that thing slow down going down to the bottom a little bit. I think the one just tried to grab it right there. Maybe not. My daddy used to fish, and he'd stand in one spot, it seemed like, for hours. I said, "Dad, let's move." He said, "Patience, my fellow, patience." And most of the time he was right. You stand there long enough, make enough casts. This is really the first day I've gotten out and done any fishing. I usually do a lot more fishing than this, a lot of catfishing. I love to set up at night and catfish. There's supposed to be some big blue cats in here, but I don't know. Let me make one more cast and then we'll pull that split shot off there. If they hit it, it's on the fall. Something bit me. Let me make one more. One more. I can't get it out there on them limbs. There we go. He hit it right there. Split shot off here. I'm gonna try. It's one of those without an ear on it, so I gotta open it up with my knife. I'm hoping it'll come open without me stabbing myself. I must have a nettle in my breeches because that is just burning the fire out of me. There, we got it. Got my vest. Now let's see what it does when it falls a whole lot slower. It won't go near as far, but that's all right. Go far enough. I mentioned, I appreciate all y'all. I really do. I've battled a lot of demons in my life. Alcohol, drugs. I haven't been the best person I could be. Thought of myself mostly. What I could get from me. Causes you to struggle more than you really need to. Chasing everything, chasing everybody. I think that's all people do anymore is chase things and people. They find themselves chasing themselves to death. No end in sight. No end to it all. That's the train I got off of. I got tired of going down them tracks. I've learned to be content with what the good Lord give me. Instead of reaching for things that you don't need to be reaching for. No, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It may look greener, but it's still grass. It's still the same old grass. I don't know how my wife has stood me for 36 years. I'd have left me a long time ago. Amazing how it took me 57 years to finally realize that life ain't about me. I got to counting one day. I probably had 40 axe heads. Probably not that many chainsaws, pretty close. I had stacks of files. I mean, what am I gonna do with all that, you know? Just kept, every time I see an axe head, I buy it. Chainsaw, buy it. There he is, right there. Oh, he missed it. So I decided I was just gonna give away all my stuff. There he is. He's a bass. Because I didn't need all that. Don't you tell me you swallowed that. I'm gonna have to let you have it, ain't I? Maybe not. Wasn't gonna do me no good to hold on to all that stuff. For what? Well, that cost me a hook, because if I pull that out of there, he'll bleed and then he won't make it. So this way, if you cut the line, just tie you on another hook. The hook will dissolve inside the fish and he'll be fine. You're out of hook in a couple minutes. So it's best to just let him have it. And he's too pretty of a little bass not to grow up and be a big bass. Sure will tie us on a hook. I'm not gonna make a long video. Figured I'd just share a little bit of fishing with y'all. A little quiet time for me. I know y'all are, well, everybody's got a life, you know, busy doing this and that, working, raising kids, going to ball games, yard sales and mowing grass, you name it. It's people are doing it. Struggling. I've been there. I'll tell you what, I can breathe a whole lot better with the right frame of mind. Don't worry so much, you know. Took my kids and my wife to church this morning. I figure a heathen like me probably needed it. Just figured y'all would want to get to know me a little bit better. I'm just a fella. I just want what everybody else wants, you know, house, place to live, good car, vehicle to drive, food on the table, family took care of, kids to have clothes and shoes, you know, protect your family. That's my priorities, my family. I look at my priorities in 4 things: God, family, and then country. Well, I served my country, and I've took care of my wife and my kids all my life for over 36 years. So, and I've always trusted God. He's always been there for me. I just turned my back on him. You can't expect to send a prayer to heaven, go about doing what you want to do, and it to get there. Comes a time in a man's life when he has to start giving back instead of just taking all the time. Hook a minnow on there and we're good to go. It might take him a couple days to get rid of that hook, but he will. Seen it time and time again. Let's go over this way one time. That looks like a good spot. I'd give away about every chainsaw I had, all but about 6 or 7. And it didn't hurt me a bit. Not one bit did it hurt me. You know, we can get caught up on things. Gotta have this and gotta have that. The latest and the greatest. Just tired of it. It's the simple things in life that you remember the most. Like your daughter hitting a 2-run homer in a softball game. That you remember those things. And when you tell her that was an awesome job, she'll remember it. Son called me the other day. Dad, I got a raise. I said, that's awesome, buddy. I said, how long you been with that company now? He said, 24 years. I said, you been with them that long? He said, yep, ever since I got out of high school. I said, there you go. You know, I tried to raise him right, give him values and morals. But he's, you know, you can put them on the road. They got to walk it. You can't walk that road for them. But don't you think they don't listen and learn from you when they're young, because they do. They hear every word. They see every action. Don't never forget that. And there's so much for kids to get occupied with these days. The technology and so many different things to do. When I was a kid, you give us a rock and a stick, turn on Howdy Doody or Lone Ranger. And then there was cartoons, like real cartoons. Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam, Foghorn Leghorn, those kind of cartoons. We were occupied. I mean, they kept us busy all the time. We worked. We didn't have to worry about getting into any trouble. There wasn't none to get into. I tell you, when I was a kid growing up, and if I'd have had something like this, my mama would have beat me, because I'd have never come off this water. I'd have been here every day I wasn't in school, and probably way past my bedtime. I would have. There's something hitting the water down there. About 15 feet further than what I'm casting. Right there he is. Oh yes, Nate. Right here is a nice shell cracker. We'll make some fine fillets. Yes, yes he will. Come here, sweetheart. Hand size. That, folks, is about as good at eating as there is. And we'll let you share this stringer with your buddy. I won't keep too many of them, just enough for a little meal. But I surely loves them. Yes, I do. Y'all just simmer down right there. Old burly man gets his line back in the water. I used to bass fish in tournaments and bass boats, and pontoon boats, fish the big lakes. Done pretty good at it too. I was, you know, done it enough where my wife was about to divorce me over it. But you catch one bass, you've caught them all. You don't eat them. But everybody's always chasing that 10-pounder. I've caught a 10-pounder or two. And they're fun to catch. But I'm gonna tell you what. Just sitting there on the bank of a river or pond or lake, spending time with your friends, not stressing out over how much it weighs or how long it is, any of that mess. You know, it's so much more enjoyable, and you get a good meal out of it. I mean, it's a long day out on a bass boat in the sun. Your wind burnt, your sun burnt, your legs are give out, your arms are falling off from casting 5,000 times. Bait caster's always giving me troubles, so I take a spin caster and a little bait like this, and just chill out, catch a little to eat. Don't never know what you might catch. Old Andrew up there in Canada, boy, he dodged a bad storm. He knew when to get off the water. That's right there is the man I want to be like. One of the kindest men I know. Do anything for you. Andrew, I need this or I need that. Can you spare this? Can you spare that? You want to talk? Andrew's got a heart the size of a daggone dump truck. I'm not a rich man. I just work hard. Every day I go to work, that's all I do. But when I'm off, I like to be off. Had a nephew get married yesterday. The wedding started at 6 and it was pouring rain. He was discouraged. I said, look, man, that's good luck. Raining on your marriage. I said, it just lets you know what kind of a fella you really are. I'm gonna catch a fish right here. I said, don't sweat it, buddy. I said, there's always an alternate plan. So we made some last minute adjustments and it went just fine. He had a time of his life. Good spot right there. I know there was a fish he bumped at one time right there, but he wouldn't pick it up. A little bit more action in that thing. Huh. I know you want to eat it. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. I really do. I pray for y'all all the time. Give me just a second while I walk over here and cast. There he is. I know you want it. I have been making many videos. I believe video is something that if you got a force, it's probably not worth putting out there. I think it ought to be something that Shouldn't have to be edited much if you do it all. I don't edit any videos. You get what you get. You ought to be honest. You ought to be from the heart. Don't get me wrong, I love informative videos. Somebody sets up on the bench, they're working on saw, especially a specific type of saw. You know, it's good information to have. I love watching them, and I'll support them. But I like other videos too, you know. I like watching chippy flies drone around. I love it. Absolutely. I will have one of them. I know I'm not supposed to want, but that's one thing that I think is the coolest thing. Can you imagine sitting out here with a drone with a little bitty rod and a bait hanging off over where you can fly out there and just drop your rod in the water, just dip your bait down in the water, catch a fish and bring him back to the bank? Now that would be cool. Drone fishing. Yeah. Yeah. See, it just hits me. See, I don't know what it is. It's probably already been done though. It looks like it's getting ready to come up rain here in a little bit. Sun done went in. It's supposed to rain pretty hard today. It rained hard yesterday evening, all the way up to about 11:30 or 12. I'm wandering around on subjects, aren't I? It's all right. I don't mind. I hope y'all don't. You know, I can't really see. Sometimes you can't see the difference in your life until you actually step back and take a look at yourself. I've made some incredible friends and I haven't even got to hug their neck yet. People say, well, how's that possible? I don't know. Somebody explain that to me, how that's possible. I know one thing. Friends I've made in this saw community are unbelievable. There isn't probably one I couldn't go to for help, or vice versa. And haven't even met half of them. Tell me how that works. There he is. Oh, he let it go. Maybe he'll come back and get it. He bit the tail off of it. Well, good. Maybe he'll bite the rest of it off. Give y'all a shout out. I got something special planned. I'm gonna, it's never been done before. Yes, it involves y'all. Every last one of you. I'm going to build me a map. Not just any map. This map is going to be big enough to where I have to have a ladder to reach Canada. And I'm going to build it. And I'm going to draw the United States. I'm going to lay it out like the global map. Canada, United States, Mexico, Europe. And I'm going to compile a list of every person in the SOG community that I know. And I'm going to pin you on that board. And I'm going to make a list of every person. And I'm going to keep track of each and every one of you, so I know where everybody lives. I can do a live one day or do a video. If people want to know where people live, they can see it on the board. I think it would be awesome to just visually see and have a name. There he is. Oh, he let go of it. To visually see and have a name of where everybody's at. Excuse me. You got my minnow. I'll tie on one more minnow and then I'll cut y'all loose. But yeah, I think that'd be cool. That way you could see the map and say, oh, there's Tasman Kenny Fuller, or there's Kim, there's Angie, there's Buckin, Tin Man, he's up there in BC, or not BC, way up north there, and over there's Muffler, and down here's Smitty, Bellhopper, all the way down into Florida where Simple Man's at. Then you got Australia, got some good people in Australia and Germany, all over. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, old Kentucky. JK out of Kentucky. I got you, brother. There's just so many old timer, country living. I could stand here for the next hour and just spit out names of people. Good people. Pilk Polk, Jurius, Christine, Buckin, the list goes on and on and on. Dad with 2 sons. Don. Old Don, yep. Billy from Philly. So many people. Can't forget Castor Man. Phenom. Bless his heart. Got to be the kindest man I know in my whole life. Come on, fishy, fishy. bad. You say, you know, if you pee in the water, it'll help the fish bite. Well, we ain't doing that. Not today. Ticks are bad out here. If I don't catch another fish, I've had an awesome time. There's one. Oh, he's a nice little one. Oh, he's eating size too. Minnows work. If I had a can of red worms, I could probably sit here with a float. Probably fill up a 5-gallon bucket of these things. That wouldn't be no sport. They're fun to catch. He's a good size one. I believe I'm gonna put him on the stringer. Catch 4 or 5 more of these, I'll have some dinner. It gets to the point where, you know, if you catch 1 or 2, you're like, if I don't catch you more, I'll turn them back. You catch 3 and you're like, I get a couple more. But as you can see, it don't take long to catch up a mess of supper. Just take your time. Let them lay there and rest. What do y'all think? Catch 1 more and then turn you loose? 1 more? Probably been long enough, eh? I love all y'all. You really made a difference in the old burly man's life. Between God and y'all, and a wife that understands to no end. I thought I was one of the toughest men God ever made. And by all counts, I shouldn't even be with y'all. I was raised rough, played rough, fought. But Lord at the fights. I'm gonna have to rehook you boys. You wanting to do too much of flopping. There we go. I used to love to fight. I don't know why. It's just something we did. I don't know. I don't understand it. I look back and I'm thinking, you're a dummy. I guess it's just a mentality, you know. You always want to be the toughest kid on the block, you know. Every guy wants to be the alpha male. I've always not tried to follow everybody else's path. I've kind of walked my own. I was born in 1965 in Clarksburg, West Virginia. The hospital I was born in no longer exists. It burnt to the ground in 1966. I've done a little bit of everything in my life. Coal mine. Of course, everybody knows I was in the Army. Construction work, electrical work, maintenance work. I pulled slabs on a sawmill. Done a little of everything. Drove a tractor trailer for a little bit for the Army. Now I've got 8 grandkids and 2 great-grandkids. played football up till about 10 years ago. Still got all the pads, the helmet, everything. But I can't do that no more. Because if I get hurt, I can't make a living. So that, and it takes 4 or 5 days to heal up from it. No, I found peace now. I'm not that man no more. Are we all perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I still have my moments. But I'm quicker to realize what I'm saying or doing and correct it. That's the difference. I don't let it go anymore. I'm willing to say, hey, look, dummy, you're wrong. Admitting you're wrong's half the battle. That was the hardest part for me. Man, cool air. Temperatures dropped probably 10 degrees in the last 30 minutes. I love it. Just me and y'all in the water. When I walk out that road right there, I could be at my camper in about a minute. So it's just right behind the house, future house. We should hear something pretty soon on that house deal. We're going to do a stick built. There he is. We're going to do a stick built and just do a small one, nothing fancy. There he is. Might be another eater. Oh, this is a crappie. This is what I've been after right here. I was hoping they were in here. Oh, now this, ladies and gentlemen, is some fine eating. Definitely a stringer keeper. And I got my minnow back. I may have gotten into some crappie over here. Isn't that purty? He's close to 8-10 inches. Oh yeah. He'll be a keeper. Definitely have me a good supper with about 3 of them on here. Thank you, fish. Thank you, Lord. Thank y'all for hanging out with the burly man for a little bit. I appreciate you. I'm gonna fish here a little bit before this rain gets in here. And let y'all go. I know you're busy. Don't like videos to be too awful long. I love y'all. I really do. And I'll see y'all on your videos in the chat. I'm gonna cut you off. Taz, man. I love you, buddy. See what we got here. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Y'all have a blessed Sunday. Thank you for joining me for a little while. I appreciate you.